Welcome back to the Where's World podcast. That's a tongue twister. Where's World podcast. I'm still in shock that I'm even doing this. I didn't think it was gonna happen, but I've got people lined up, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed the first one, so I appreciate you guys. In this one, we got a dear friend of mine. I've known him since 3rd grade, RcBurkk, and I thought it was great for him to come on. I don't think he really understands the potential of promoting yourself on the internet. So hopefully we could show him some love in this video. And Ryan, because I know you're watching this, thank you for coming on. And to all of you guys, thank you guys for watching and all the support on the first one. There's many more to come. Make sure you guys hit the like button and the subscribe button. It keeps the lights on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. RcBurkk.
BMW.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Nothing like a first time on here,
Yeah,
huh?
right? I was like, you know, we got the setup, found it on Peerspace, and I was like, it'd be perfect for you.
Yeah.
So, who are you, man?
Well, I'm Ryan. I go by RcBurkk on platforms. And, you know, I'm super happy to be here, man. Glad for the opportunity.
So, for those who don't know, I've known Ryan for, since 3rd grade?
3rd elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always did weird things with his hands. But he's an artist now. How long have you been an artist?
Since 2020, so 5 years.
5 years? Okay, what have you learned throughout that journey?
I've learned that I've always been musically inclined, but nothing ever kicked off until I started in 2020. And I've noticed that everything takes careful time and progress, man. Like if you don't have an equal amount of love and hate, then you're doing something wrong, you know? It's super important to understand that I'm going to scroll through my comments. I'm going to see people that love it, and I'm going to see some people that hate it. And once you learn to kind of disassociate that from your personal feelings, then it starts to become, okay, well, I can learn from my mistakes, take the shit that people say, and use it to better myself. You know?
No, 100%, and I see that a lot too, because I'm actively in my comment section, and you kind of have to disassociate. Is there ones that kind of got to you at the beginning? You were just like, it was like, I don't like your sound, I don't like this. What was some of the comments that got to you?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people do that, and I think a lot of the problem majority of the time can be that people will see like bro, you're garbage, and just instantly react or give them something they want, you know? When at the end of the day, if I see a comment that's just so out of the blue, like, you shit, stop doing music, that's a good thing. You know why? Because that means that the person is listening and they don't like it, because A, yeah, it could be not their style, or B, they could be or have some form of jealousy almost, you know, because they can't do it, and they just wish that maybe it was their exact style. But one day with me and my music, everything sounds different.
Exactly. So like, you've kind of pushed over that hurdle, because a lot of people that only last maybe a year or two in the game, and then they're out, and they don't keep
some
pushing.
People will spend like a year writing one song, you know, and they overthink everything they write. And when you just do something and have fun with it, make it simple, don't overthink anything, it's really easy, straightforward, you can get things done.
So, you know, I've told you this myself too. Like, 2 of my buddies have said it's almost sounds like meme music. Like,
I've gotten that. That was super weird. I've never heard meme music until you said it.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
Because like I've been compared to a bunch of names. I've had guys call me Little Dicky because I like using humor in my songs, but at the same time I do that to keep people intrigued, you know? I do take it seriously, but I have learned that tonality is a big thing when you record. Like, instead of going in there and just, I love pancakes and other things, you know what I mean? Right. Instead of that, you gotta like use your core and like give it an intricate like flow. You gotta actually give a shit, you know? Well,
we all love pancakes though.
Exactly. But I'm talking about like the high-pitched voice. You can't go in there and sound like a little girl when you don't have the vocal cords for it, you know what I mean? So
across your journey, how do you think you've evolved over these 5 years?
I'm not a squeaker anymore, and I don't cap rap anymore.
You don't cap rap?
That's the biggest difference.
What's cap rap?
Have people's bitch. I snort. I do 40s. No, like that kind of thing. I'm not gonna.
Is there some songs like that you had in the beginning? Like, name some of them.
We had wrecking shit. That was a very vulgar song that I made, and that was the only one that I left a music video out for, because at the time, and I still think it's a pretty hard song, but if I could improve anything from then to now, if I'd go back, I would just say be less explicit to myself, you know?
Less explicit?
Yeah.
I remember that song because we would always meme on it, is the swervin' swervin'.
Yeah, everybody memes swervin'. You know, I've come to learn if you can grow to be okay with people laughing at things that you meant to be kind of goofy, but at the same time it's like meant to be for entertainment. So when people laugh at it, why would I get upset when I wanted people to laugh at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So of course I'm gonna have fun with you. You come up to me and go thwervin', I'm gonna go thwervin', thwervin'. You know what I mean?
So how was that process? How was that process in recording the music video? Like, it was a good music video. Like, you used to have the Jeep and you were out there drifting in the Jeep out in the desert.
Yeah.
You know, who'd you have on? How'd you meet some of these people? And why did you decide to have that as the music video?
Because at the time I was living in a home with a few roommates, just buddies at the time. We were all like 18, 19, around that age. And I did have the Jeep. There was a swervin' video that was going to be out a while ago, but I decided to cancel it for reasons that some of the people in the video I no longer associate with, and I don't feel like giving people light of day that I don't fuck with, you know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
So I just took it down because Swervin's also not my best rated song or my personal favorite, so I was like, whatever. At the end of the day, I know I'll eventually make a better one, so.
Definitely. You definitely had some inspiration from some people. You know, we talked, you kind of liked X a lot, you liked Juice a lot, and why did you attach to those people so much, and what made you be inspired by them, I guess?
Very good question. I'm not gonna sit here and like write them, you know. I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're my gods, but when you listen to people like XXX or Juice or anybody that's deceased, it's kind of weird, and I feel like people do but don't talk about it publicly, you know. Like those guys, they made such unique music because they put their heart and soul into it. And when you listen to them, you can actually like vouch for what they're saying. You love the way that they flow. You love the way that what they're saying, their wordplay. And that's kind of something I focused on, is no matter what my voice sounds like, that almost doesn't matter when you're recording, because when you're making songs and you're looking at notes in front of you, all that matters is every single one of those syllables, you know? I don't care if I sound high, low, as long as I'm hitting the red light, blue light, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Every little syllable, because that's all that counts. It's the art of it that makes the most beautiful sound.
And has it impacted your style whatsoever? Like in regards to clothing and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything's changed, man. So my first project, Actions Cause Indefinite Death, or ACID abbreviated, that was kind of my first. I've never taken vocal lessons or anything whatsoever, so I kind of just taught myself every step in the process of making music, and everything ever that you could imagine in that process. I'm behind it all.
You're behind it all.
I'm behind it all.
From the beginning, because in elementary school, in middle school, and even high school, I don't even remember you singing, practicing.
No one does. That's because I spent a lot of my childhood in therapy, man, trying to figure out a difference between people like laughing and crying. You know, everybody has it different. But if you took that perspective, the way I was as a kid and where I am now, the difference is crazy. I'm not at all the same person. You would think I'm like legitimately an entirely different person, because back then to now, it's just, what life hits you, man. When you get enough experience, things will hit, things will click, dots will connect.
No, so then what are your thoughts on therapy?
Therapy?
Yeah, like, do you think, because some people just totally don't want to associate with therapy at all, they think it's unmanly. What are your thoughts about it?
Depends on the person, because there's some people in life that I agree need therapy, but then there's some people that, for myself, for example, I have this problem even in school with like teachers, for example. If you have that super nice guy teacher that just like makes you do X, Y, Z, and he's that goody two shoes, it's like boring and you want to fall asleep, you know? But if I have an instructor that goes, bro, a monkey with half a brain can do this, fix it, do better, that makes me grow, you know? Because I'm like, okay, and then it makes me want to
So do you have some teachers that you'd say like have impacted you through the years?
Oh God, definitely. Even just in the last like couple months, because I'm in school right now for both electrician and HVAC. So last class we were learning how to bend metal pipe and whatnot, and dude, our instructor was so funny. I mean, that dude had zero filter. And then now we're doing solar, and my new instructor, he's basically a SpongeBob of solar.
SpongeBob?
Like, he's just so nice, and that's why it makes you want to fall asleep. And every lecture is like, read a article which is like 5 paragraphs, and it's like, dude, no, I'm not doing this when I graduate.
Can you do a good SpongeBob impression?
No, hell no.
So you got a drill song coming up.
Yep.
And what made you want to do a drill song? Are you hyped for it? Like, do you like the genre? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Of course. Horn Dog, yeah, first drill beat, and it's featuring my boy Nate. And man, we've been friends since early high school, and he got me into the idea of it because he heard the way that I rap for so long now. He heard songs like 420, and then I made other ones that you've heard in the studio, and he was like, Ryan, I need to get you on the microphone, and I need you to like talk, you know, like talk rap. He's like, you gotta talk about, that bitch was walking in my house. I told her I has to go to work. You know what I mean? So that's when he got the idea of me saying, like, it's coming out in a few days anyway, I might as well spit a couple of the bars. Like, for example, it's smoking on loud up in church, I feel higher than Jesus. Type thing. It's just simple. You don't have to sit there and find like an intricate 3 words to say in a certain tonality, you know. Don't think too hard. Back to that.
Yeah, exactly. So about drill rap, a lot of people think drill rap is like super easy for a lot of people because it's just the same beat. And was it difficult to get into that? What was and can you speak a little bit upon the haters of drill rap? They think it's too easy, and they think that the beat's always almost the same.
Yeah, well, a lot of the times the beats can be, because obviously with music and a genre like drill, you're working with a repetitive genre when it comes to just the beat, but your lyrics are what matter. Like what I focused on with Horn Dog was doing that, a drill, like a talk rap, making it proper, but at the same time unique. You know, it's me. Like, you're gonna click on it and think this is not like a drill sound like I hear some underground person rapping about and they play it in the club. You know, mine's like, I feel like my music sometimes is almost, you should have headphones in, and I feel like I'm one of those like you would love listening to in your personal time kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and what do you, when you're in the studio, what do you feel? What's your like mindset? Like I don't understand it, because when I'm there, I'm just like, wow, there's so much going on. There's a huge, you know, production. He has all the buttons and stuff up there. Yeah. There's like fans running over here. There's the glass mirror, or the glass where you're recording. Like, what is the feeling like? Dude,
I say it every time I go. It's like Pornhub.
It's like Pornhub?
I release more dopamine than I do when I watch when I'm in the studio. I'm just kidding. I don't watch FYI.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. Oh man, I grew out of that years ago.
No, I'm the same way. No fap all the way, right?
No, no fap.
No fap. So it's like a dopamine rush, and I know that you have the specific guy there. What's his name?
Cole Brunson.
Cole Brunson.
He's a very, very good engineer. We're down at the Salt Mine Studio. You can book him for an hour, however long you want today. I highly recommend it. On the side, he makes, EDM dubstep music. It's awesome.
Yeah, and how, because I know you've kind of stuck just with him, right? You haven't really, you explored maybe what, one time?
Yeah, and in turn, but every time that I have explored like a different person or anybody, it just, they don't catch that same vibe. And I'm not sure if that's because I've just been working with Cole for so long, or if psychedelics have anything to do with it, because as you know, I use shrooms a lot for my music, and I'm very big on like, I'm very open with my okayness using psychedelics to record. I'm public with it because I don't fuck around with that kind of stuff, you know? Like, I'm not just being an idiot. I'm not gonna go cause some stupid incident, but it really doesn't help improve my vocals when I take that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't done shrooms.
Yeah, so obviously when...
So a newbie into shrooms, how would you describe that experience? Is it because people are like, oh, you're tripping, oh, there's this going on, I hear aliens, and they're like, in my ear.
Aliens. Yeah, no, I mean, as a newbie, like, let me make it clear, I don't condone doing drugs, right? I don't condone anybody not doing it if they don't want to. But if you're a person that's sitting there thinking, I don't know, don't all rappers like take drugs to do music or something? Like, no, not everybody does. You don't have to. But I find it kind of funny. I use weed as a term, rapper fuel, in the studio. But weed's like the really common thing. When people want to do shrooms, just make sure you're in a good environment, right? That's the key thing. If you're in a good environment, and then the people around you aren't going to judge you. Because if you have somebody in the room with you that's even thinking a negative thought, you're going to know they're thinking a negative thought, and it's going to throw you off.
Yeah, but, could you sense that from me?
Yeah, a little bit. I just feel like this guy sucks in your head. Like,
no, I definitely didn't think. For those who don't know, because I'm there helping him record sometimes for some of his media, and I hope all the experience is just easy for you, and I'm not bothering you whatsoever. No. Okay, well, that's good feedback for me. And what can, out of all of your albums, right? The beginning to the latest one, I couldn't list them all off the top of my head, but what is your favorite?
Song or album?
Album.
LMBW, definitely the new one. I only have 2 out. Well, I don't technically count the one with Ron because it's so small. Like I would want more songs with him before I use the word album. But
it's more of an EP?
Yeah.
Okay.
But LMBW, yeah, it's 7 songs, so technically more of a mixtape, but that's definitely my best work so far. That's out. But coming out, we got more. He's
cooking up some heat.
We got more, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's out of those albums, what is the favorite song from those?
It's either Illuminated or 420.
420, I hear you talk about 420 all the time. And it's because you smoke weed, or is that because you just really like your flow in it?
No, that day I was on something that day, man. Like we went in there, and I have the clip on YouTube. You guys can watch it on my channel at RcBurkk. But if you click on my studio videos chapter 1, I have a 10-minute clip of me recording in the studio on initial creation day, first main layer, and it really just turned out good because I went in there, bro. I did it in like 15 minutes, full energy. I was like yelling on the mic. By the time I was done, I lost my breath, but it was just so relieving. Like that was the first time when I made 420 that I came out of the booth and I was like, dude, I just did something crazy. You know? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And I like 420, but I like a lot of the stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but fast rap from when you started to where you're at now, it's a lot better. And who had that impact for fast rap? Was that Eminem? Was that Joyner Lucas? Who was that really made you want to go super fast? Logic even?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it was those big guys that you mentioned, Joyner, Eminem, pretty much all those guys. Because I remember when me and Brayden were kids, guys, we used to hang out in his garage for like, what was it, years?
Yeah.
For years. We would be in his garage like every day just jamming out to stuff. And as a teenager, I would find it super fun, and I'd be impressed with myself if I could rap really fast. So I mastered Rap God like that, and ever since I learned I could rap really fast and I could be fluent at it, I kind of tried implementing that into my work. And believe it or not, rapping fast is not that hard. You just have to know like where to hit, you know? Is if you can figure out what syllables are more important to hit versus other ones when you're speaking quick, it can make it flow easier and you can breathe better.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what's a good syllable that like a newbie wouldn't know to hit?
Rap God. Like when you listen to Rap God, Sumalama Dumalama, you assuming I'm a human. What I gotta do to get it through to you? I'm superhuman, innovative, animated rubber. So that anything you say is ricocheting off of me and it'll glue to you. I'm never studying more than ever demonstrating how to give a motherfucking audience a feeling like it's levitating, never fitting. I know that the haters are forever waiting for that to get their set. I feel like they'll be celebrating. You know what I mean?
So practice Rap God first.
Practice
for
Rap
all
God.
the newbies out there.
For all the newbies, practice Rap God, and if you can do Rap God, you can do anything. I'm dead serious.
Since I know you on a personal level, what are some things that people might not know about you that I would know?
God, a lot. I'm super awkward at first, but once you get to know me, I'm like really fun.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. I'm really socially awkward. That's like the #1 thing.
I'm looking more for a story.
Like,
there has to be one story that's not out there on the internet. There's probably a million of them that's not out there on the internet that we caused some trouble. You know what? Talk about our time on the way to West Mech. What would I do? And how did it affect you?
For the love of God. Me and Brayden used to go to this trade school, and it was called West Mech. We were in for coding, and I
wasn't in for coding.
No, he was. What were you, precision manufacturing?
Yeah.
And God, every day that we would go to this school, he would go somehow get a cart, right? Just because he wanted to get me high before class. and so he would pick me up every day, and then he'd be like, "Hey, Ryan, hit the cart, hit the cart." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Just because it's funny."
Exactly.
and then I'd rip the cart, and I'm sitting there like, and then he just laughs his ass off, and he'd neck me, and he'd like mess with me.
Dude, it was the best $30 I have ever spent. I didn't do drugs. Don't do drugs. And one time in high school, you you threw up.
Oh God!
Right? And did you get suspended?
Man, he wanted to discuss the big stuff.
Yeah. This is good. This is what people want to hear, man.
In high school, it was like around the first time that I just started smoking weed, right? So I go into the school bathroom. I took my friend's cart. And this was like the first time I hit a cart, and I'm so new to smoking in general. It was like my second or third time hitting anything. So I go in the school bathroom, I hit her cart, and it was so drained anyway, and I took such a wussy hit, dude. I took and I go back in the room, and like 30 minutes later, I'm sitting there on the school desk, and eventually I go unconscious, and then I start puking. I greened out.
Ugh.
And so my teacher's like, "You good?" And then I couldn't move, but they brought me to the nurse's office, and they found her cart and my jewel on me at the time. And so until I was 8,
with the mango pods.
With the mango pods.
Oh man.
And so when I was 8 until I was 18, I had a pending felony, and it had to get expunged. But dude, that was so crazy. I'm like, don't get caught at school, guys. It's not worth it. They don't mess around.
It isn't worth it. And what's your opinion of the current state of the rap game? Like, the people out there, Cardi dropped an album, and like, what's your opinion about it, man?
You know, so I've never been the type to diss anybody. You know, like I go by if I don't like something, it's just not my type of music.
Yeah.
But weak. I'd say weak.
Weak?
Yeah.
When was peak?
80s, 90s, or 2000s even. We had some bangers in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But recently it's all repetitive. It's all not new. It's not unique. Closest thing, in my opinion, that I gotta emphasize my opinion, because you guys are crazy. So I think the closest thing to like completely unique, completely fresh that we've not heard before is maybe like Tommy Richmond.
Tommy Richmond?
You know who that is? The guy that made $1 Million Baby. And
oh yeah.
He's really unique. I like him.
How do you think you can have an impact on this rap game?
I can do my best, man. I can bring my unique style to the table and see what people think, and I can always just keep a positive mood about it.
What about so far?
So far as in like
so far, how have you impacted the game? How do you think you've impacted people?
So far, I think all I've really made it out is that you don't need to be a specific anything to do what you want to do, you know? Like, for example, I don't have to be a certain color. I don't have to be or have XYZ criteria beforehand to do it, because music is something that anybody can do. I mean, if you think about it, really all music is an incrementation of people's thoughts, brain, their knowledge, and what they wanted, you know? So like anytime you ever clicked on a Kendrick song, all you're listening to is his thoughts, you know? And so when I put my music out there, I want people to think like, it's just what another guy thinks, you know, but it's my own. I'm not copying anyone else, doing my own thing. I'm super proud of how it's turning out so far, so.
Now, do you just, as you please, you just push out an album, or is there some type of way that you release it? Is there like, July 7th, you know, I like that day because my mom was born. Is there a certain way of releasing that you've planned?
It can vary. Like, majority of the time I try to have a strategic way that I want to upload things. I don't just try to push out whatever I can, because if something is so garbage and I don't sit there and listen to it for like days or weeks on end back to back, then it might take me a minute to kind of sit there and feel the vibe of it, you know what I mean? But if I just do something and knock it out,
you put it out there.
Yep.
So
but I also try to, like, for example, when I make 3 or 4 songs in one studio session, I'll pick like the best one. And if for example, what we're doing right now is starting with Ever Knowing that released back in January. I'm starting with that, and then I purposely plan this out ahead of time. I'm gonna do Horn Dog coming out on the 12th, and then in July I have another drop, and then there's another one maybe around October, November. So this year's going to be pretty packed, but it's coming out in the order for a reason.
And I'm glad that I was able to finally get, because we talked about this for so long, to get him on a podcast and, you know, get some form of media out there for you. So I really appreciate that I was your first time. Yeah. I got 2 more questions for you before we wrap up. The first being, maybe 3. The first being, where do you see yourself in a couple of years? From now, let's say 5 years from now, where do you see yourself musically?
This might surprise you. So five years from now, musically, I see myself having a lot more confidence with everything that I'll have on my roster 5 years from now. My songs will be awesome by then. But am I expecting to actually like go big or blow up, or anybody hit me up on any feature collaboration? No. Like I said, I'm in school and work right now, so my main focus is get through that and get a real job, real career, just in case it doesn't. So music's for sure gonna stay a hobby thing for me, unless it did go big all of a sudden. But I sure have fun with it, man. Like, it's definitely a passion. I mean, some of my songwritings, I'll sit there, it'll take me months to do some, versus I've made some songs in like 20 minutes. So
gotcha. And so where can some of the people find you?
Anywhere. On social media at RcBurkk.
And what platform do you prefer?
I'm in Apple Music.
Apple Music, okay.
Instagram.
Apple Music, Instagram. Last question for you is, if there's 3 things people need to know about RcBurkk, what are they?
He's unique, does not sound like anybody else that I know. He's very white. No, I'm just kidding. I use humor in my songs, so expect to hear some like maybe goofy things, or like you said, meme music. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't call it meme music, but I do lack a better word at the moment, because I'm just, like I said, I'm just super not anyone else, you know?
No, I gotcha.
So, and one more thing about me. RcBurkk is persistent, but I like to take time to put out good work. Like, I'm never gonna rush something just to put something out because people, oh, where's your drop? Oh, fuck you, I'm working on it. You know what I mean?
So can we see any future like merch dropping, like stuff like that? What does that look like for you on a time frame?
Oh yeah, definitely. We are working on some merch right now, aren't we?
We definitely are.
We're working on some sick t-shirts, hoodies, maybe even. We're even trying to brainstorm ideas, potentially maybe even get 3D printing.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So keep an eye out for RcBurkk. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.